few years ago, my girlfriend, along with a group of other people, were discussing the sausage fest that was at the time the atheist community. My girlfriend brought up the point that it gets really irritating how every guy is trying to hit on you at skeptic and atheist conferences, how that is just not appropriate. I was quite taken aback. I thought, like many, reacting to people like Matt Dillahunty's latest video, that a meeting of atheists would be the perfect place to find a possible relationship or maybe just some fun. It got slightly heated in the discussion as neither of us could see why we were shocked by the other's position. It took some time, months in fact, before we realized why. The average person, unless they're in the academic, political, or business professional realm, doesn't really understand what in the world a conference is. A conference is a professional meeting where organizers and activists come together to collaborate and network ways to better spread and understand their goals. A conference is a place for people who are actually doing the heavy lifting and organizing. It is a place to be a professional and hopefully move the cause forward. What most people think of when they think of conference is a convention similar to Comic-Con or gaming cons. This is more to energize the base and get people interested emotionally or casually together to have fun, meet like-minded individuals, and often sell stuff. There are often parties and hookups galore. When most people hear about the rules set out at atheist and skeptic conferences, they think of a draconian code set out in a con or reason rally style setting, and I agree, who would want to go to that? A conference, however, takes place specifically as a professional setting, and they want people who are actively working to organize and spread the message, not just a casual observer or diehard fan who just spreads their ideas on the internet and nothing more. This is not to belittle YouTubers like myself. We are needed as ground troops, but community or event organizing and lobbying requires a lot more professionalism and work. Setting out rules at a conference is actually very important, as some people still don't get this distinction to keep it professional, including some people who have spoken there apparently. If you make contacts with someone, you may afterwards wish to pursue something more. That's just fine, but a conference needs to be treated similar to work, because that's what you're doing there, working and learning about how to better organize. If you're there to just have fun and hopefully get laid, then buddy, you're in the wrong place. I really think there should be more cons and get-togethers for skeptics and atheists, but hell, just getting conferences together is a lot of work. Rules of conduct at a conference won't reduce my drive to go. What prevents me from going is actually the price. It's exorbitant. Many of the people who go to the conferences are older people who aren't hurting for cash and can't relate to the struggles of the younger age group, then openly complain about how the young people just don't want to get involved. This, in fact, was why A+ was started, a method of activism, organizing, and network for the younger, less affluent group who genuinely want to be key players. It was attacked straight off the bat, not just by much of YouTube, but by many members of the upper conference echelon, as they saw it as a direct threat to their conferences. This confusion as to what's happening and what goes on in the conference-level atheist movement is, in my opinion, one of the biggest causes of this entire YouTube atheist movement feminism argument debacle. I even had someone claim that A+ was the people running the conferences, when they're a tiny subset of people the conference runners hold at arm's length sometimes. They're a tiny website that uses a certain set of rules that creates forced perspective nowhere else on the web. It wouldn't work how they want it to without the rules, and it will fail or succeed on its own without the visceral attacks it receives. A+ has reached the point in internet rumors where it has like Illuminati status and a power-hungry trip to force radical feminism on people's fun at a rowdy con, instead of the people actually in charge of the con, with a loose association with the people who run A+, writing up and implementing a standard code of conduct every professional conference normally has. Next, I'll be hearing that A+ caused 9/11, and while you may disagree with them, they are a tiny minority doing their own thing with zero power and little influence, but making great scapegoats about what is perceived as wrong in the atheist community. Please, share this with people who have confusions about this. It may diffuse some of the tensions and misunderstandings in the community. It's exactly like the confusion between myself and my girlfriend. We were both speaking two different languages and talking about two completely different things, and are appalled at each other that the other holds their position so strongly, and would for a second think that it was okay. If there was a rules Nazi Gestapo running around a con or the Reason rally, making people cover up and enforcing morality, believe me, I would be right there with you, angrily fighting back. This is not what's happening. This is showing a disconnect between the two parts of the atheist community, with different backgrounds and different understandings of terms. Quite similar to the common versus scientific version of the word theory. Once you understand it, the disagreement is improved drastically. But if you don't realize you're speaking about different things, it's just feeling like you're beating your head against a brick wall, trying to get people to understand and gasp in shock at their position as unethical and retarded. Words and definitions are the cause of all wars, and this is one of them that shouldn't have happened. Though it may show a bit of disconnect that the organizers, like scientists, may need to work harder to better bridge the understanding with the general public.